today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and reveal the book sub-off this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro!
One, two, three, four.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Domestic Violence Prevention Month. I'm going to touch base on that later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked, which mutant permanently absorbed Ms. Marvel's powers and memories after a vicious attack? Well, the correct answer is Rogue. And two people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, your name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this episode of the show is... Funko Fat Guy. Now, this is someone who answered on Instagram, so congratulations, Funko Fat Guy. Give yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Teen Titans question. Which founding member of the Teen Titans was revealed to have had a heroin addiction? Was it A, Robin, B, Aqualad, or C, Speedy? Alright, here's some hints to help. The first hint is that this character made his first appearance in More Fun Comics number 73 in 1941 and was created by Moit Weisinger and George Papp. The second hint, this character was the longtime ward and sidekick to Green Arrow. And then the third hint, this character has also had the code names, when he became an adult, had the code names Red Arrow and his current code name, Arsenal. And then the fourth and final hint, this character appeared on the TV series Arrow and was played by Colton Haynes. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, as of late, no one has made any requests for the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown segment, but that's fine. I've decided that every once in a while, when no one makes any requests, I'm going to feature some vintage Throwdown Showdown segments. And this one features the Crown Prince of Crime and also the Thorn and Batman side going up against the Lethal Defender of Marvel Comics. Representing DC, we have the Joker. And representing Marvel, we have Venom. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call...
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Joker versus Venom. The Joker is a criminal mastermind and expert chemist who uses weaponized props and toxins. Venom possesses all powers of the symbiote's first host, Spider-Man, limited shapeshifting and camouflage, and autonomous defense capabilities. Who will win? This wouldn't be much of a fight. The Joker would slowly approach Venom with a smile on his face and no fear at all. Venom begins to lick his chops with every step the Clown Prince of Crime makes. As soon as the Joker comes within 3 feet of Venom, the symbiote says,
"Sorry, Eddie. You won't be ready."
The symbiote then separates itself from its host Eddie Brock. Brock looks back at the symbiote and pleads for it to come back, but to no avail. Brock then turns around and the Joker squirts a huge dose of flesh-eating acid out of his flower in Brock's face. Joker then says, "Never turn your back on a goat. Or me!" He then electrocutes Brock with a 20,000 volt hand buzzer. Joker wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. I hope you enjoyed that vintage Throwdown Showdown fight, and if you want to make a request for a future episode, y'all are more than welcome to do so. But remember, I have rules. The first rule is that there has to be at least one comic book or manga character. The second rule, that comic book or manga character can go up against another comic book or manga character, a video game character, or a series-minded cartoon character like Optimus Prime, Voltron, Lion-O, anyone like that. And then my third rule, make sure your fight makes sense. It really wouldn't make a lot of sense for Ambush Bug to go up against Blue Beetle. Just saying. Yeah, just because they're bugs, I don't think it'd be a fair fight. I think Blue Beetle would win that hands down, especially the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. All right, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. All right, here we go. First up is Absolute Flash number 8. The Amazing Spider-Man number 14. Batman Superman World's Finest number 44. The Blue Falcon and Dynamite number 2. Captain America number 4. Catwoman number 80. Gatchaman number 13. The Incredible Hulk number 30. Iron and Frost number 1. Justice League Red number 3. Krypto, the Last Dog of Krypton number 5. The New Gods number 11. One World Under Doom number 8. Racer X number 2. Rogue Storm number 1. Rogue Sun number 30. Sinister 6 number 1. Superman Unlimited number 5. Titans number 28. Thundercats number 19. Unbreakable X-Men number 1. And finally, Wonder Woman number 26. Alright, that's 22, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 14,100. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which founding member of the Teen Titans was revealed to have had a heroin addiction? Was it A, Robin, B, Aqualad, or C, Speedy? Alright, here's some hints to help. The first hint is that this character made their first appearance in More Fun Comics number 73 in 1941 and was created by Moit Weisinger and George Papp. The second hint, this character was the longtime ward and sidekick to Green Arrow. The third hint, when this character became an adult, they ended up getting the code names of Red Arrow and their current code name, Arsenal. And then the fourth and final hint, this character was played on the Arrow TV series by Colton Haynes. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Funko Fat Guy who won a free tee on this episode. Alright, now this month is Domestic Violence Prevention Month. Domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behaviors in any relationship that is used by one partner to gain or maintain power and control over another intimate partner. Domestic violence can be physical, sexual, emotional, economic, psychological, or technological actions or threats of actions or other patterns of coercive behavior that influence another person within an intimate partner relationship. This includes any behaviors that intimidate, manipulate, humiliate, isolate, frighten, terrorize, coerce, threaten, blame, hurt, injure, or wound someone. Domestic violence can happen to anyone regardless of race, age, sexual orientation, religion, sex, or gender identity. Domestic violence affects people of all socioeconomic backgrounds and education levels. Domestic violence occurs in both opposite-sex and same-sex relationships. It can happen to intimate partners who are married, living, dating, or share a child. Domestic violence not only affects those who are abused, but also has a substantial effect on family members, friends, co-workers, other witnesses, and the community at large. Children who grow up witnessing domestic violence are among those seriously affected by this crime. Frequent exposure to violence in the home not only predisposes children to numerous social and physical problems, but also teaches them that violence is a normal way of life, therefore increasing their risk of becoming society's next generation of victims and abusers. And one sobering thing about domestic violence, it's the most unreported crime in the world. Not just here in the States, but in the world as a whole. There are some countries where this isn't even regarded as a crime, and that's very sad. Now, I've never been married, but I've been in the dating phase of relationships, and I know not to do this. When you hurt someone, there's just no honor, and there's just no humanity, and it just makes absolutely no sense. I mean, how can I don't understand why a person would want to do that to someone. I mean, would want to purposely hurt someone. I mean, if you do that, shame on you, and you need to stop. Now, for anyone that witnesses domestic violence, you have a voice. If you happen to see it, remember that it's a crime and then call the authorities. But whatever you do not try to get in the middle of it. I had a family member that tried to do that years and years ago, and it costed them their life. And I really don't want to hear about someone trying to get in the middle of it. I mean, I know you're probably fed up with seeing that happen because you really care about the person that's on the receiving end, but it's not worth risking your life. So if you see it, again, call the authorities. I mean, again, domestic violence is a crime. And it's the police's job to fight crime. And if they don't believe you, if they think it's hearsay, then honestly they don't deserve their badges. Yeah, I said it. I mean, how can you? And that's another thing. I don't understand how some police officers or some law enforcement are very subjective, are very selective rather when it comes to crimes. A crime is a crime, period. And now, for all of y'all that are on the receiving end of domestic violence, whether you're watching this or you know someone who's on the receiving end of domestic violence, or if you know someone who is no longer with us due to domestic violence, I love y'all, and this episode is for y'all. And for those that on the receiving end who are still with us, there is nothing wrong with getting out. You deserve to be happy. Just like I said in the mystery pop-up segment last week when I raised awareness against bullying, everyone deserves to be happy. And there's a hotline that I want y'all to call. And that's the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. And if you're text savvy, then text the word BEGIN, that's BEGIN, to 88788. And then if you don't have a phone, but you go online a lot, go on their website, which is thehotline.org. They have a chat that you can take part in. I mean, all these people that are over this hotline, that work at this hotline, and all these folks that work for different organizations that are against domestic violence, they're not going to judge you. They're not going to condemn you. All they want to do is help. So please, sir, please, ma'am, you owe it to yourself to be happy again. All right, this is a domestic violence prevention comic hero tee. And if you would like one, you can find them on iamthecomicHero.com/shop for $17. And I will donate half of each purchase to Domestic Violence Prevention Incorporated. All right, here's the roadhead for the show. On next week's episode, I'm celebrating Halloween. This entire desk is going to be decked out of Halloween decor. I may even have some spiderwebs back here. So, and then there are also going to be some special effects. It's going to be a lot better than what I did last year, I can tell you that. But I'm really looking forward to it. Halloween is one of my favorites, and I'm also going to wear a comic hero tee in observance to Halloween. So y'all tune into that. On episode 542, which is the last episode of the show before I do Louisiana Delta Comic Con, I'm raising awareness of adoption. I personally know some folks that have been adopted, and I personally know some folks that chose the path of adoption. And on episode 543, I'm raising awareness of diabetes. And on episode 544, I'm raising awareness of lung cancer. And speaking of Louisiana Delta Comic Con, y'all meet me there at Louisiana Delta Comic Con. Is on November 8th at the West Monroe Convention Center in West Monroe, Louisiana. It's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm going to be a guest there. My friend John Stout's going to be a guest there. Shane Dyson is going to be a guest there. Then Jordan from J&J Cosplays is going to be a guest there. My friend from Instagram, Pixel Vix, will be a guest there. And then for all you wrestling fans, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, will be a guest there. And then one of my favorite vendors and a favorite to a lot of folks, especially here in Louisiana, Man-Made Soaps will be there. And then my friend Kevin Harris, who made these LED light boxes for me last year, he's going to be a guest there, and many others. So as Loretta Lynn used to say, y'all come. All right, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, like and hit subscribe. Oh, and also share. And then if you're watching this on the Louisiana Delta Content Creators Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, like, share, and go on YouTube and hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, like, share, and go on YouTube and hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for the Halloween episode 541. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero!